Well, I disappeared for a moment there. Sorry about that. I don't think it's the government. I don't know if people are monitoring my show, and I'm not going to say it is the government like some sort of paranoid lunatic. But I do have a bad internet connection, so I'm willing to blame it on that. That's pretty much it. So, financially, what's going to happen is we're going to deflate for a little bit, and then we're going to inflate again, but on an exponential scale, because when people realize that there's really nothing left to frag, when people realize that it's not just that, there's actually a lot left, folks. It's that corporations are also buying us up, and they know what they're doing. They're cleaning up America. They're getting the gulags ready. But, they can't win unless you panic. As long as you remain calm and you live life to the fullest and you remain free in your mind, then you are truly free. They can't take away your minds, folks, unless you let them. Remember that. Who said the Constitution was torn up? Alex Jones, right? Think about how in your face that is, okay? I would never say that, folks. Never. The Constitution and the Bill of Rights doesn't have to be torn up for it to not exist. It has to take the people. It says we the people. And understand that God is where you get your rights from, not the state. It's a different concept. You're not reliant on the state to give you your individuality. You have to take responsibility. If you become a domesticated cow that's dependent on the state for everything, including your rights, you're going about it the wrong way. And you're never going to be free. Anyways, so when oil peaks, it's first going to deflate a little bit, giving the illusion that all of a sudden the US dollar is becoming the world's currency once again. People are going to ride that for a while, and the media is going to manipulate everybody. And trust me, this is going to happen, even on Alex Jones' show. Then, what is going to happen is going to be devastating at first, but then afterwards, it's going to balance itself back to normal. Oh yes, folks. This is how it works all the time. They're using oil to manipulate all of you while using the media. And if you don't believe me, continue watching and listening. Continue spending your money frivolously on things you don't need. And try to gauge the market the way they want you to. But when you're ready to listen to reason, come back and listen to this episode, and I made it very, very clear. It's going to inflate, deflate, inflate, and then balance itself out. Now, how long that balance is going to last, I don't know. I don't know. But if you go through the Depression, and if you go back and look at the cycles, they are exponential. They are complicated, and they cannot be totally predicted. Even my predictions are probably going to be a little off. But I guarantee you, they're going to be more closer to the truth than what you're going to hear on Alex Jones, and what you're going to hear on Alan Watts cutting through the Matrix, what you're going to hear from David Icke. Because they all work for these people. I don't. I don't get paid by them. I don't get dictated what to say. I can say whatever the hell I want on this radio. And they can't kick me off. They could mess up my show and cut it short. Cut stuff out. Maybe. So, here are some enlightened words. Alex Jones is a government provocateur. I know he is now. I listened to the episode of Dr. Steve Pachinik when he said that General Petraeus, I quote, General Petraeus would be the best VP for Romney. Now, who is General Petraeus? Well, he pretty much wrote counterinsurgency documents, the ones that I read. And I'm going to continue reading to understand, but he's the one responsible for COINTELPRO being expanded under Ted Gunderson. By the way, Ted Gunderson, to his very death, defended people that murdered and raped little children. Does Alex Jones ever tell you about that? And then supposedly Ted Gunderson was investigating it when Barbara Hartwell, who was trying to expose all of it, when the senator that he had on his show, I can't even remember her name offhand. Lady, shoot. I want to remember her name. Sharon? No, it wasn't Sharon. Wasn't Sharon. Anyways, folks, my brain is not doing too well, and I've been losing a lot of memory, but I'm still here, I'm still with you, and also, you know, I've been gaining a little bit of intelligence myself. By reading all this stuff and actually going out there and investigating this for myself, you begin to see how easily you get manipulated. So, here's the thing. That lady that he had on his show got killed after she was on his show just a day after. Her and her husband. And they made it look like a murder-suicide. Think about it. How come every single, quote, most important guest that Alex has on ends up getting killed? What is the CIA known for? Since J. Edgar Hoover, what is it known for? What's its biggest crime against humanity? Well, besides kidnapping little children and raping them and killing them. I guess that is the biggest crime. But what's the second biggest crime? Killing people. Murdering people. Just straight up murdering them. I mean, it's not like they're in war or anything. They're just murdering people. People who dissent, people who try to expose the corruption. And I guarantee you, if Ted Gunderson was involved in all of that, which I'm pretty sure he was, Alex Jones was probably involved, folks. Alex Jones was drunk with George Bush's daughters at a party because he's friends with George Bush and Bill Clinton. Rick Perry. I've talked with Rick Perry. He laughed at me when I brought up Alex Jones. I was yelling at him and stuff, and he smiled and he said, Alex Jones is my friend. And I didn't know what he meant by that. I was just like, well, whatever. You know, he's an elitist trying to be friends with us. Punk. But yeah, Alex Jones is friends with Rick Perry. Alex Jones is a shyster. He's a shill. He never was a part of the truth movement. He just came out of nowhere and started running with it. And I don't know if he does it for the intel. I have a funny feeling he works for Stratford, because that's where he gets his information from sometimes, folks. Directly. He doesn't say I'm a double agent, but he makes it pretty obvious for those of us who are intelligent enough to figure this stuff out. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a real patriot, and I actually want my country back, and the only way we're going to get it back, folks, is if we don't get led into the slaughter. This guy is going to, I guarantee you, he's going to make people panic all across the nation by the end of this year. Just like he did in Y2K. He's going to do the same thing for 2012. Why, folks? Because everybody believes the world's going to end in 2012. How many times do we have to go through this over and over again, every freaking generation, before we figure out that this is all just a scam? Folks, I don't like being a sheep. And I'm not a sheep. I've taken off my wool and I've decided to become a wolf. And no, not a wolf that preys on people, because if that were true, then I would be preying on you right now. But I'm not. I'm giving it to you straight, folks. Because I want you to rise up. I want you to understand what is going on in your world. You cannot let people manipulate you. Stop letting them get you worked up. Let me ask you something. And I know all the answers of most AJ fans are going to be the same. But let me ask you something. When you get worked up listening to Alex Jones, is it really you getting worked up? Or is it Alex Jones inciting you to get worked up? Creating that emotional fear for you. Think about it. And I know a lot of you are going to say, well, it's me. I'm just getting angry at what's going on in the world. Okay. What is going on in your world? How are you active in your community? What do you see outside your door that you can report on? Oh, folks, a lot of people don't like to face reality. They want to live in a fantasy world. It doesn't matter what that fantasy world is. It could be a movie. Okay, most people came up with movies to simply create an illusion of a world so people can be easily conquered. That was the whole reason to come up with movies and plays. The Romans came up with games because they found out that as long as you kept the games around, you could take people's land, you could make them a slave, and the slaves would go to the games and watch their neighbors being killed, because at least there were games. And the games would get people worked up into a mode, into a frenzy where they would be attacking each other. I see this all the time. Soccer games, everywhere else. People on the air saying, this person said that, and it comes out it's not true. They just wanted to see people rallied up and tear the entire place down. So they could have more military presence, more capital, more funding to enslave the people more.